You want to know what makes men even more insidious? Because this is how I know that men know what they're doing. If you can get on the internet and become an influencer like Derek Jackson and all these other dudes, Ace Metaphor, if you can get online and tell women the truth about men, including that Medusa dude, but then turn around and literally act in the exact same manner that you're warning women about, that's how I know that men know exactly what they're doing. I think that we as women, for some odd ass reason, I don't know if it's that damn empathy, I don't know if it's us being nurturers, I'm not really quite sure what it is yet. But it's something about us, something that's within us, probably the hypersensitivity, probably the wanting, well, it can't be the hypersensitivity because if it was, you wouldn't do what you do. But it could be the trauma that women have gone through. It could be like Stockholm syndrome to the entire group of men. It could also be women just simply not wanting to believe that men can be just as diabolical as they are. Um, because for some reason, a lot of us tend to think that they don't know what they do. They know exactly what they're doing. I promise you they do. Because if they didn't, we wouldn't have the men who get online, talk about men, expose men's issues, and then we find out later that they're actually the men that they were talking about. How diabolical is that? That's extremely diabolical if you ask me. But that's what we've been seeing that's been going on. They talk so much about how they don't think that men, um, or how they don't think that us as women understand men. So they tell us the truth, like Derek Jackson. They don't think that we understand what they're thinking, which is why Steve Harvey made that book called Think Like a Man. We really have men fucked up as women. And they keep telling us that they think different. They keep telling us that they are different. And we just don't want to hear it. I don't know why that is. But at some point, I think it's worth us realizing what the truth is. Because that's why we keep on getting caught up in bullshit. Because we keep on thinking, oh no, he wouldn't do that. A lot of times what it is too is that we are not terrible people as a group. You know what I mean? As a woman, naturally, we don't tend to be terrible people. So, oftentimes, we can't fathom the fact that a man can really be as destructive as he is because you think to yourself, oh, I couldn't do nobody like that. Or I could never hurt somebody and deceive them the way that men do. You know what I mean? I think that's really what a lot of it is. We can't fathom somebody actually taking the time to get somebody to trust them, to get somebody to let their guard down, to get somebody to marry them, have a whole child by somebody, and then switch up. We just can't fathom that somebody will go to those lengths. And I mean, they go to extreme lengths. I mean, this one lady, I forgot her name, but she ended up getting married to the dude, and he ended up trying to take her damn life. I think her name is Jasmine something. She's on this app, and she does a lot of domestic abuse work and sharing her story. I think she wrote a book or something. She's now an advocate. But it's a lot of other women though who don't have the life to be able to say, hey, this is what I went through because the dude took the life. Now you don't have it. Now you can't really say anything. So they will go through extreme lengths, and I think that that's what's so insidious. When I have men in my comment section arguing and fighting for their damn life about how it's not every man, it's not all men. Mostly all of the men, I'm sure. I'm willing to bet all of them, every single one of them, that has taken a woman's life has said not all men. Or they have said, oh, you can trust me, I'm not like the other ones. You know what I mean? That's the reason why now we have to share with other women not to tell your trauma to a man. Because, and that's the sad part, you literally have to operate like you, best that you can to close yourself off to him. You have to do the best that you can to be very, very strong, to not like fall for the emotional manipulation, to not let your guard down. And the thing with me, the thing with me is if it takes all of that for me to try to get to know somebody, it's not fucking worth it. Why would I want to sit up here and constantly have to keep myself closed off to somebody? Why would I have to sit up here and, try as hard as I can to not feel an emotional attachment and to keep my guards up simply because there's a big chance that you may be lying about who you are? You know how tiring that is? I can't just be the woman that I am. I have to operate like I know that you are such a threat to me that I have to wait for you to prove yourself. That's fucking tiring. Because as women, typically we don't have to wait for other women to prove themselves. We just know how we are. Just like how men know how they are. And they try to tell us the truth, but we don't want to hear it. So I just was thinking as I was listening to a video, and I was like, you know what's crazy? These dudes know how they are. They know exactly what they're doing. But the sad part is they know what they're doing. They know how they are. But they want to continuously live off of this fantasy. They want women to be in this fantasy world. They want women to think that they're good, because if you were to really find out who they are, you wouldn't want to be with them. You wouldn't want to deal with them. And so that's a harsh reality. We have to operate as if they're not good off top and make them prove that they are. But here's the crazy part. When they prove that they are, they still end up being fucked up. Because if all they have to do is lay in wait like a goddamn animal does their prey, what difference does it make? I guess that's probably what makes me, just kind of like over all of this stuff. It's not worth it. It's not worth me getting into a relationship with anybody just for me to find out that they're low-key demonic. But the crazy part is, for women, by the time they find out, this dude is already like got you pregnant, or y'all done moved in with each other. You know what I mean? So it's just so much pointless shit to all of this, getting into relationships. And I hate to say this, but I'm just gonna say it. I think that if men were capable, relationships would be really, really good. But the thing about it is they're not capable. We've been told that they are, and we've been lied to about their capabilities. They lie about their capabilities every day, all day. And so as a result, we are just very fucked up as women. Because we refuse, even though we see all of this stuff, even though we have so many men telling us generally how men think based off of their nature. And you got people who still don't even want to believe the nature situation about them. If a man is telling me how they are, I'm just going to have to believe him. I don't care what you think just because you don't want to think all men are not like that. He's telling you how they are. They're telling you how they are. And that's why when it comes to men like Derek Jackson, Ace Metaphor, what's the other dude's name that I mentioned? Medusa. None of the things that they do should be surprising to us. But it always is. Because for them dudes specifically, y'all got on the whole internet acting like y'all were one way. Y'all got on the whole internet making it seem like y'all were good dudes. So, that's just crazy to me. But yeah, these dudes are not good people. They know that they're not, but they're depending on you to believe that they are. You know what I mean? And the thing is, we've passed the age of Pisces, which is believing, and we're in the age of, or going into the age of, I know. So we can no longer, as women, believe that this is a good dude. We can no longer believe that the majority of them are good dudes. We have to know. And we're finding out now that we know they're not. That's what we know. So every man knows what he's doing. Unless he has some kind of disability or something, but in that case, you definitely shouldn't be dating him. Every man knows that he's not a good person. Every man knows what men do, and they're doing it. But they lie about it because they have to get what they want.